crossed into Canada over the weekend. It was Easter weekend, which I thought would be very quiet, and it was. We were the only people on the road. We crossed in at a place called Carway.
Yep.
Really easy. We filmed it in case anything did happen, but it didn't. He just asked us some questions and waved us through. We told him we had bear spray. He didn't even ask to see the bear spray.
No, he was just really relaxed, wasn't he?
Really super easy border crossing, and we're back in Canada. For those of you that are new and didn't know, we shipped our van from the UK over to Halifax on the east coast, had a summit in Nova Scotia, which was incredible. So Canada is a very special place to us, and now we are here on the other side, heading up north to Alaska.
Yep. In Alberta.
We're in Alberta. We're at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, which is where we're going to be driving through this week. But it might not be as straightforward as we originally thought. Oh no, I thought you were going to fall over.
No, because I knew what you were going to do. Oh, come on then.
That was icy. Sorry if you can hear the train behind us. Right, we're here at the foothills of the Rockies. We're going to be driving through Banff and Jasper National Parks, probably the two most famous national parks in the whole of Canada. Now, there is an amazing drive that takes you straight through both of them called the Icefields Parkway, and it is here, this Highway 93. It's probably one of the most famous drives in the entire world. It has about 2 million people drive it every year, but despite that, driving it in winter poses a few potential problems. During the winter months, between around October and March, you need to have winter tyres or snow chains to drive on this road because it can get very snowy and very icy. It's now April. We do have winter tyres and they are marked with a little snow stamp, so we should be all good for that. This is 300 kilometres of just pure wilderness. There is absolutely no cell service throughout the entirety of the two parks. Not only that, there is also no gas and no food. There is a middle point here, can you see this? Saskatchewan River crossing. There's normally a gas station there and maybe somewhere to grab a bite to eat, but it's winter and it doesn't open until May or June, I think. So for us, there's going to be no cell service for 300 kilometres, no gas and no food. The conditions can change really quickly on this road. There has recently been a winter storm over the past couple of days, which actually made part of it not really passable. We've been checking on an app called Alberta 511, which gives you road conditions for the whole of Alberta, including this road, and it's now saying it's passable and it's drivable. It's actually got little gradings from 1 to 5, 5 being closed, 1 being like good roads, and it's a mixture of 1 and 2 at the minute. Where yesterday it was like 3 and 4, so it was like really not very good. As it stands at the minute, it does look like it's going to be okay, and the weather's looking good for the next couple of days. Avalanche risk. We're now into the shoulder season. It's spring, upper snowpacks are melting, which means avalanches are a risk. I think on Sunday part of this road was closed for avalanche control, so we always have to keep an eye out for that. Apparently there are avalanche zones. Oh, there's a little squirrel.
He made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Apparently there are avalanche zones and we are not to stop for any reason in those zones. So just keep on driving through. If for any reason things get really, really bad, we can come off here and take the 11 out. The reason we don't really want to do that is because to get around, it's literally double the kilometres. So it's like 300 kilometres for us to get up to the end of this park, of the Icefields Parkway. To go around, it's like 735 kilometres. We're already doing some crazy drives, so we really don't want to be taking massive detours like that. So we're going to do our best to get through the Icefields Parkway. Everything's looking good. Keep our fingers crossed the weather stays clear. Should be a fun adventure, what do you reckon?
I'm up for it. Let's get going.
Use the right lane to take the Trans-Canada Highway route.
We're not even in the national park yet and the drive is already insane.
Before we get on to the Icefields Parkway, we have one stop we have to do, and that is to come and see Lake Louise. It's the quintessential thing to do in Banff National Park. It's that really famous, beautiful turquoise lake surrounded by mountains. Ben is the most turquoise thing on this lake today.
Look at this.
And the cool thing is that it might not be turquoise, but we can actually walk out onto the lake.
How thick it is. So if all goes to plan and the weather plays ball, the Icefields Parkway should be the most amazing drive we have ever done. We were climbing for about 10 minutes through pine forest,
and now we've like come into the mountains. We're just enveloped by the most majestic, incredible, huge mountains you've ever seen. This drive had a lot to live up to, and so far it is delivering.
How amazing is that?
This has got to be one of the best drives in the world. Like when we were in Utah, we're just sitting here in silence, and you don't really have the words to describe the scenes in front of you. Like, words just cannot do it justice. It is breathtaking.
So stopped off at Peyto Lake, but look how high we are off the ground. Yeah. That's your normal information board. And we're what, about 4 or 5 foot up off the ground?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a bin.
There's definitely a lot to be said for travelling out of season, especially coming to places like this. It is so beautiful in the winter snow. This is the highest point on the Icefields Parkway. Below us is Peyto Lake, which would normally be a beautiful turquoise, but it's covered in snow right now.
You wouldn't want to live here because there's snow here for 9 months of the year, and it can be even freezing cold in the summer. Nah, not a place for me.
I don't think I've seen icicles on trees before. I'll lick it. That's quite nice to lick, actually. It's really smooth.
Tastes like a tree.
That's nice. What do you think?
Road conditions are perfect, they're just wet, so whatever storm came in over the past few days is completely melted away.
About halfway up the Icefields Parkway is a place called Saskatchewan River Crossing, and just coming off there is the Highway 11, which is one of the only routes, once you're on the Icefields Parkway, it's one of the only routes off. We've just turned off onto it because we're going to try and find somewhere to camp for tonight just outside the national park. You can't wild camp in the national park, most of the campsites are closed, and the Icefields Parkway is too big to do in one day and to see everything there is to see. So we've like hopped out of the national park to try and find somewhere to park for the night. I mean, it's still in the most like mind-blowing landscape.
Might have found somewhere for the night. What's it called? Preacher's Point camping area. Park up and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, I feel like we have finally arrived in Canada, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Glacial lake, snow-capped mountains, pine forest. The dogs have walked, had their food, we've got a lasagna bubbling away on the stove. I think it's time. We toast to being back in Canada. I've got from Inca Meat. It says it's from North America's first Indigenous owned and operated winery. Cheers to Canada.
Cheers. Being bear aware. Now we've just got a deer with us over in the tree line. You probably won't be able to see it, but just in the tree line.
Do you know what? Ben and I have never ever had s'mores before. It's a very North American thing. It's like marshmallow, toasted marshmallow, squished between biscuit and chocolate. And it sounds amazing, right? Okay, so we get our marshmallows. And then I've got these biscuits. It actually says perfect for s'mores. I never even knew that when I bought them. I just thought they looked perfect for s'mores.
Well
Basically,
done.
it's biscuit with chocolate on top. So we haven't got to like faff around with biscuits and chocolate. Got it in one. And then you toast the marshmallow and then you put it on that and then you squish that on top and then you eat it.
Very nice.
Okay?
Seems as if the world stopped spinning round and round. Oh, since I found you. 'Cause every time I see
Oh, look at that. Are you ready? I don't know if it needs 2 biscuits.
It's quite thick, isn't it?
Oh, that was really good.
I knew you'd fit me like a glove. The day I fell in love with a dream of me and you. I know it sounds crazy, maybe one day I could share it with you.
Wind is really starting to pick up now, so I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to stay out here. Ben's come back inside because it is so cold. Oh crap. Case in point. Those s'mores were amazing, by the way. Why have I not had that before? No idea. The temperatures might be cold, but it's 8:45 and it still isn't dark outside. The further north we're getting, the lighter the evenings are, which is really, really good. Are we going to see the land of the midnight sun in Alaska?
Yeah. So it starts in May the 17th, around about May 17th. So we'll be there, around there. Maybe just a bit before, but yeah, pretty much.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. 8:45, look at that.
Night night bears.
Night night wolves, night night coyotes, night night moose.
None of them exist in Canada. I think it's just a big conspiracy theory.
Oh really?
Yeah, they've just got deer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have woken up inside a Canadian postcard. Look at this, clear. We've got clear blue skies. We have got perfect views of the Rockies. Honestly, at the start of this week, the weather forecast was so bad. Parts of the Icefields Parkway were completely closed. We were like, we're not going to even be able to find somewhere to park up, never mind drive the thing. Not only are the roads absolutely clear, but we found this. It's incredible. We took things slow this morning, gradually thawing out like the frozen lake we'd woken up next to, with not another soul in the world. Winter travel was, ironically, warming on us.
Oh, thank you very much, baby. Ooh. Now for the best bit. Wrap them up. Oh yeah. Oh, that is good.
Ready to go? We have faffed around far too long this morning. We have got to get on the Icefields Parkway because we have to finish it today. Getting back into the national parks, saying goodbye to this absolutely amazing spot. Only like, what, 15, 20 minutes?
About 15 minutes out,
for the national parks. Completely empty and completely free. I think it's fair to say that the Canadian Rockies not only live up to the hype and the expectations, but they massively exceed it. I don't think any photo or video that you've ever seen of the Rockies can ever capture how impressive they are or do justice to them and how tiny they make you feel. I can't even get it all in.
That's all marshes. And...
Is this place?
So that's the glacier.
Made it to the Columbia Icefield. This is what gives the Icefield Parkway its name. The largest ice field outside of the Arctic. Just glacier and glacier and glacier. Unfortunately, you can't get onto them in the winter. I think it's because it snows, so you can't kind of see the crevasses and stuff. So the summer, ironically, you can get onto the glaciers. But it's absolutely incredible. I'm so high on life right now. I just want to scream and be like, oh wow! But I'm worried if I do, I'm going to trigger a massive avalanche. So I'll just go instead. That's it, the end of the parkway.
Yeah, that's
Complete.
it. We're out now, completed, and it 100% hands down shaped up to be exactly what we hoped for. It was absolutely amazing.
Drive of a lifetime.
Drive of a lifetime. It was phenomenal. Yeah. It's a shame we can't go back the other way and see it that way.
Yeah.
I think we can make do with this.
I knew you'd fit me like a
We have finished the parkway. We finished the Icefields Parkway. What an incredible drive that was. Wasn't it amazing?
Yes, wasn't it amazing? Absolutely amazing. I was lost for words.
So we pulled into this campsite last night and we just completely crashed. Driving that road is not just a drive, it's an experience, and it was incredible. And it's kind of crazy that when we first started the week, the road had been closed for avalanches.
Yes.
There were whole sections that were covered in snow, said it was impassable.
Yep.
But when we got there, it was the most perfect driving conditions. Dry roads, clear skies, sunshine.
Completely different. In fact, 8 hours before we left to go on the road, it was closed and impassable. And then we got there and it looked like nothing had happened.
I know. This is the last week of using this map. We're almost running off it. So just to give you some context of the map, this is San Diego, this is Mexico, and this is the Californian coast. In fact, the whole west coast of the States. This is the Canada border. We left you last week when we went in Flathead Lake, and when we crossed the border into Canada, we just hopped up behind the back of Glacier National Park and kind of just skirted around Calgary to reach the outskirts of Banff and Jasper. It's not a very complicated route we've taken this week, guys, because we've just followed the 93, and then we came off on here and we camped up at Abraham Lake, came back again, followed the 93 north to Jasper, came up on the 16, crossed into BC, so we're now in British Columbia, and we're probably just somewhere off there, actually off the map now. If all goes to plan, next week we should make it to Fort Nelson, which is mile 0 of the Alaska Highway.
I found you, 'cause every time I see you life goes right, like daytime in the middle of the night.